welcome once again to Conversations with Ed. I thank you for allowing me into your home once again, although I bet a lot of you didn't know I was going to be on tonight. I didn't know I was going to be on tonight, but you know what you do. You got time, pick up the phone, call all your folks, tell them, hey, look, Ed's on, and let's get going with what's going to happen tonight. We have a real interesting show for you. We got some guys on that are going to give you some good pointers on life in general, business in particular. First, I have to say my hellos. I didn't bring my hat, but all of you vets out there, I say it every week. If you haven't been out to the VA yet, you're burning daylight. You're wasting time. They are waiting for you. So if you have anything that you need done, physically, medical, education-wise, and you are a veteran, take the time and go on out to McGuire and sit down and talk to a veterans counselor. And let's see if I'm right, okay? What we're going to do tonight, we're going to talk to two guys that I met since I've been down here in Richmond. Both of them have different backgrounds, but they both have become very good friends of mine. And I think when you listen to them tonight, they might just become friends of yours, okay? So we're going to open up. I want to put the phone numbers up right away because there are going to be questions. You guys will have some questions to ask. I hope my guys on the tiers are watching because you got one of your friends up here. Some of you might remember him also. Before we do go, I do have to congratulate everybody that made the long walk to freedom. We had a nice turnout for that, and we thank you for that very, very, very important day, and also for Election Day. For those of you who did go out, we thank you. For those that didn't, shame on you, and I hope we can count on you next year because that's going to be the one. All right, let's get going. Let's start talking about these things that are rolling around in my head, and now we got some good answers coming up. I'm going to introduce you to the guys, and then we're just going to start with Conversations with Ed, okay? Right here I have Eric Ruffin. Good to see you, man. Okay. And over here, Mr. Dalton King. Now, you might know Dalton. Dalton's been around. He's a man about town. And he does some real good things. And we're going to start out. I'll start out with you, Dalton, on that side over here. I met Dalton when I was going in and out of Richmond City Jail on Fridays, kind of giving the guys some, I thought, some interesting information and options that, things that they could do to help them when they got out. One of the things that we decided, and I think we were right, and I still think we were right, was that coming out of an institution with the baggage that we already had on us, we needed to have a trade. There should be a trade. Nothing like being in business for yourself. Not the easiest thing in the world to do, but doable. And this gentleman, Dalton King, who just happens to have the Virginia School of Barbering, he and I sat down and we talked, and we wanted to figure out a way to get this concept into the Richmond City Jail. We went, we met with the sheriff, Sheriff C.T. Woody, and as usual, the sheriff was 100% on board. Anything to help these fellas and young ladies get a better life. Dalton came in and started the classes. Give us your input on that, Dalton, because you had a good time doing it.
I did, and it was as successful as well. I guess first of all, I want to say to you, the job that you're doing in the community is great. The things you do, you're actually changing lives, so that's a beautiful thing.
Well, thank you for that. Yep.
You brought me into the city jail basically to talk to the guys about a little bit of business, and I had mentioned the barber school. As you know, once I mentioned the barber school, it was pretty
hands
much,
went up, right?
Everybody's hands went up. They wanted a trade. They knew that their options were limited to the point of when they got released, what they could do to provide for themselves and their family. So we implemented the barber program with the help of C.T. Woody, and we were successfully going along, and then the program kind of got stopped in its tracks because of financing.
Funding, the thing that happens all the time, financing, right?
That's right. But the community stepped up, and we were actually able to complete a graduate from the city program.
He says the community stepped up. We're gonna give the pat on the back where he should go. The Masons.
The Prince Hall Masons of Virginia.
Stepped up. The Prince Hall Masons stepped up. Dalton spoke to them. they wound up having a meeting with the person, and we got to call Emmanuel's name. You folks, you've seen Emmanuel on the show. He's the guy that, he's just a remarkable young man. Yeah. But he was the one that we wanted to use as the example that, yes, this could be done. Emmanuel went and met the Grand Poobah, is that what you call him, the head of your lodge? And he just, I mean, I think he just agreed, and they came up with the dollars to make this thing happen. Yeah. And he's licensed now. And the beauty of it is that he's not a barber. No. Tell him what he is, though. I loved all of these. This kid went through some training.
He did. You know, with the help of the Grandmaster of Richmond, of Virginia, the Prince Hall family, they were able to contribute finances so that he could continue to finish his course. Once he completed his course, he's just so excited because he's graduated. He actually passed the theory and the practical part. So this allows him to be a tonsorial artist. This is his new lingo, okay? This is something that he learned. And it's kind of ironic because there are a lot of barbers in the area right now that are cutting hair, servicing, but they are not licensed.
They're not licensed, right?
Not licensed. Mm. It's an epidemic that we are trying to combat at the Virginia Barber School. We're trying to put these guys out there with a license so that they can make it such that the profession of barbering is professional once again.
Plus the fact, I think the state is going to stop allowing barbers to work in the field if they are not licensed.
They are. They are cracking down on those barbers that don't have license.
And this is a mainstay of our community, of the black. I mean, the barbershop, movies, barbershop, right. Because the barbershop and the church used to be the center of the community.
That's right.
So that was a great thing. You came in and you had a trade that you were willing, and you spent a lot of your own time and energy getting this developed. We are going to try again this year to see about getting that back in there. You know, I'm not in there like I was before, but the sheriff is still the sheriff, and the sheriff is still willing to do things like this for his inmates. So that's something we'll look into. Now, just so that we keep on going, we're going to come back to Dalton, and we're going to have like a real conversation here. I want you to get a chance to meet Eric. Now, Eric is one of the gentlemen that I met inside when I was going in and out to talk to the guys. Eric Ruffin, we got a call already. Hold on one second. Hello, caller.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Hey, Ed, how you doing?
Okay. What's happening?
This is Emmanuel, man.
Hey, we're just talking about you. You heard us, huh?
Yeah, man. Tell Mr. Dalton, man, he's sweating too hard.
No, see, that's because he didn't know if you were going to call or not.
Yeah, I had to call, man. I just want to tell Mr. King, man, I really appreciate him and all he did and the people that's behind this whole situation. Yes, I am the first to come out of the city jail and pass my barber test, you know, and now I'm a licensed barber, and I owe all this to you and him, especially you, Mr. Coleman, because you're a man of integrity. You know, I'm so excited, man, because, you know, when all fails, right, you know, y'all came in and lifted my spirits up so much, man, and I actually did something that I always thought I couldn't do.
You did a lot of things that you didn't think you could have did, because just working with that youth group, that 18 to 25-year-old group, you showed that it can be done. So congratulations to you too, young man.
Yes.
All right. Well, you keep watching, and if you think of a question to ask us, call back, all right?
All right. Have a blessing.
And tell your wife hi.
Okay.
Take care now, Emmanuel. That's
right.
good. So, and then he was the first one.
He sure was.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of funding coming out now.
It's more, but you have to, I guess, start somewhere to be able to set a precedence.
There you go.
He was a good example because he's out here now, successfully working.
And he'll tell everybody exactly how he got there too.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Emmanuel. Now, back to you. I met this man, and as I've told you on different occasions, there were certain guys that I met that I would go into court with and kind of give some input to the judge. I don't know, I didn't want you to think that I thought I could work wonders, but sometimes when you do have somebody speaking for you, it does make a difference. Well, this man came up to me, pulled me off to the side. He said, "Can I ask you a question?" And I said, "What's that?" He said, "I go to court," and he gave me the date. He said, "And I want to know if you'll come in with me. And I said, I can't answer that now because I don't know you well enough. He said, well, I go, and he gave me the date again, and there was a timeline. He said, in that timeline, if I show you and if I give you my word that I will keep my word and be very successful, would you come in and consider it? I said, yes, I would consider it. So when the time came for him to come to court, he had actually lived up in the Belief program in the Richmond City Jail. He had lived up to everything that he said he was going to do. So I said, yes, I'll go with him. And I did. And when I did get up on the stand and got a chance to talk for him, the judge heard me. And I think it made a real big difference in the time that he had to spend unavailable, so shall we say. But not only that, he came out, Eric came out, not only did he keep his word, he did, and is still doing, much better than I even think he thought he was going to do. Because you've become a success. Good job. Okay, now tell us about your business now, okay?
Yeah, first I want to thank you.
You've thanked me by doing what you're doing. You've thanked me by doing what you're doing. And I see Cynthia.
Yeah.
I see her smiling at you out there. I know you're living up to your promise. So that's my thanks.
Yeah, well, I wasn't new to the jails and institutions.
Well, you told me that, yeah.
You know, I had been incarcerated untold times.
And you said you were tired of it. That's right.
And yeah, and I did say I was tired of it. I said I have a marketable trade, you know, something that I could make a success out of myself. And you know, I was tired of the jails and institutions and going in and out. Substance abuse and alcoholism played the major role in me going to and from jails. Mm-hmm. And after talking with you, and I don't know, I had said to many people through the course of my life that I'm going to do better, I'm going to be somebody. And lots of people had always looked at me and said, you're never going to do nothing. Mm-hmm. You're going to always be a loser. And I was hearing it, but deep down inside, I knew I was better than what I was being. And after you said, are you really going to do something, you know, with your life if I help you? Mm. And you were more than just heard by the judge, actually. It was, you know, I still tell people about it because I make mention of you at least once a month to somebody.
Oh, nice, okay.
And I said, man, you know, this guy told me he would go in court with me because, you know, I was serving some time for some pretty serious stuff.
You were, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I said, what, you know, I asked you to go into court and talk to the people. And the day of the court, even the attorney told me, he said, man, you going back in there and ask this court to, you know, pardon some of your sentence and all. He says, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, that's don't build up your hopes,
yeah,
right?
He said even more. He says the prosecuting attorney has already said he's going in there and he's adamant about, no, not you, not with your criminal record. You're probably one of the worst that we've ever seen. You know, and I had my little spiel all wrapped up in my head, you know, what I'm going to go in here and say. You know, I know exactly what I'm going to tell the judge, and, you know, and it's just amazing how, you know, when I walked in the courtroom and he says, you know, the Commonwealth, he said, well, Commonwealth, how do you feel about it? And he says, I was going to say no to this, but actually I'm in agreement with letting this man out. You know? And I was like, huh? And I mean, to me, you were like the man. Oh man, Ed is the guy. You know, I mean, I didn't have to say a word.
Well, see, that's why they say sometimes actions speak louder, because you did what you said you were going to do, and this is something that we're trying to get across to the youngsters out here now. And again, you remember when I first went into the jail, Dalton, you weren't there in the very beginning. Mm-hmm. My whole thing was I was actually tired of going to crime scenes. Mm-hmm. and tired of reacting. I said we have to be proactive, and that's what I told the guys. I said I'm here because I want to be proactive.
Right.
Now the youngsters on the street, they're not going to listen to me or to you, but they will listen to you guys.
That's right.
Because of your credentials. Your credentials are there, and they will listen. So I'm trying to build a team of advocates, and don't you know that it's worked?
Beautiful.
I mean, between this guy right here, Eric, between Roots, Travis Mines, and Ricky Sparrow, and Emmanuel, who you just heard from, Roots is the first group of inmates that's allowed back into the jail to mentor other prisoners.
That's great.
Okay?
Yeah.
So talking about you, back to you again with the training program, and I think the powers that be, it's not on the sheriff's level, because the sheriff has always been attuned to.
Right.
But he can't do anything
Yeah.
without
State
powers
level,
behind.
right.
Good evening, caller. Thanks for calling.
Hey, how you doing, Ed?
I'm good.
This is Richard Sparrow.
Hey, Rick, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, sir.
Okay, that's alumni. So you got some alumni. You know this guy right here?
Do I know him? I love that brother.
All right, good deal.
Hello, Richard.
Hey, Eric. Eric set the example of getting out and staying out. So for all the men and women that's in the jail in the Richmond City Relief Program, right, this thing is possible of getting out and staying out. And Mr. Dalton, I remember you brought him in, right, and Emmanuel stuck with it, and now he's a licensed barber. Eric said that he's not a mechanic, he's an auto technician.
Yes, and in school also.
And, it's just so wonderful to see you guys up there, right? Because, Ed, you offer a lot of hope to me, to Eric, right? And you brought in people like Mr. Dalton, who gave us some more hope, that let us know that, when guys get their GED or when you learn a trade, it's like you drink Red Bull, you get wings, and you feel good about yourself.
Well, you're showing that it works too now. You pat yourself on the back.
Yes. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm a part of Roots, reinventing myself outside the system. Getting out and staying out, man. But I really want to just commend Eric and Mr. Dalton, but Ed, I want to lift you up, man, because you are doing a great job in the community. You're very proactive, and you are one hell of a man.
Wow, thank you. Now, while you're on the phone and the public can hear us, tell us the name of your book.
The name of my book is I'm Talking to You.
All right. And we can expect to start seeing this book when?
In December or the beginning of January.
Okay, that's a big up now. Okay, say the name again.
I'm Talking to You.
Everybody hear that out there now. This young man has a book coming out, and I think he has a lot to say. So we're going to be looking forward to that, and I thank you for that phone call, my friend, and you just keep up what you're doing, too. Give your wife a big hug from me.
Okay, I will.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, be blessed.
All right, now that's another graduate, you
Good
see.
stuff.
And these guys, then you met a lot of them when they were out there, but they just made up their mind. The program had a lot to do with it, and Eric can testify, as he was saying a few minutes ago, he had a background, but there's something about that belief program that really made the guys knuckle down and say, this is it. This is what I want to do. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And look at this guy. Just when he walked in the door, like he's getting younger. Now tell us about your shops. What are you doing? You have auto mechanic, full service?
I have, 2.5 years ago, I opened up Discount Auto Service.
Okay.
Again. I started out in a little small building, one bay. And it was in a row of shops. And the guy in the building beside me wasn't faring well financially. And, I might call it underhanded. Well, I just call it being very business minded. I approached the landlord and I said, well, this guy isn't paying his bill. I can pay it. And so the man was evicted, and I knocked the wall down and had 2 bays. And then another man didn't take care of things, so he retired, and I knocked that wall down, and I expanded to 5 bays.
You have 5 bays.
5 bays on one location. Just about 6 weeks ago, I opened a second location, looking to hire more men.
Key point. I'm glad you said that. Tell us about, and you also, because this is, You know, I'm corporate America. I have my corporate background.
Sure.
My last, outside of jail, I was the regional director for North America Bank Card. So I had Maryland to South Carolina was the territory I was responsible for. The biggest problem I had was hiring people. How are you making out with that aspect? Everybody needs a job.
Well, excuse me. Everyone says they want to work, you know, and not putting any downplay on anyone. There are actually some people who, for whatever reasons, can't work. But I've hired a few people, and I'm a very tolerant guy. You know, I understand people have criminal backgrounds, and these things make some people in certain fields unemployable. To me, that doesn't matter. Basically, just trying to find someone that will come to work, do the job, and come to work every day. You know, be dependable. I think the business community, the workforce period, lacks
Ethic.
Yeah, integrity, good work integrity, period. And I see it when I go into certain communities, into simply McDonald's or Burger King.
Yeah, it's
the
universal.
service is not, people don't seem to take pride in what they do anymore. Everybody wants to be paid.
Everybody, I was just saying, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to get
Right,
dead.
who really wants to earn the check and go the extra mile? I mean, I do have customers, and I think what's built my businesses up to the point that they are now is when the person comes in and I say, well, it requires this and it costs that, and they say, well, Lord, what am I going to do? You know, I don't have this, so I can't do that. You know, and sometimes you have to extend yourself. You know, and I found that, you know, part of me says, man, I'm tired of giving away work and not getting what it's worth. But it seems that for some reason, the powers that be, it has its own benefit behind it, because that person will tell someone else down the line, and next thing I know, this person,
You're building loyalty.
and right, and that's I think one of the key factors to being successful in business is to be attentive to people's needs.
Customer service.
And
That's it right there.
Well, because
and
I tell
quality work. The quality of your
because
work.
I tell my men, when we give people a service, they're giving us their money. They earned it. They worked hard for it.
Yeah.
And their money will spend anywhere. If they don't come to me, they'll go to someone else if I don't treat them right.
Are you having the same issue?
Not any longer. I guess I've been in business, I guess, about 20 years for salons and barbershops. And in any business, it evolves. So you have to change with the supply and demand. With the barber business, we were running into a situation where we didn't find licensed barbers. This is the problem that's going on in this general area in particular. You have approximately 43,000 licensed cosmetologists in the state of Virginia. You have, on the other side, 3,000 licensed barbers. Now you got 3,000 barbershops around the corner, okay? So we have an epidemic in our neighborhoods of unlicensed barbers. And it's more or less a general public service announcement that they don't know that a barber is supposed to have a license. So they're just taking for granted that this person is in a barber shop or salon, that they are legitimate, which they are not. And if they do not see a license from the Department of Occupation and Regulation on that barber's mirror, then they're patronizing an illegal business. Okay, Dalton, why is that a big deal to you? It's a big deal to us because we decided, instead of hiring people that wasn't professional, that had bad habits, that would come in and pretty much infest the whole shop, we would teach our own. So we were starting to bring people in, teaching them how to cut hair as well as how to be a professional.
And you said the word cosmetologist. It's not they're just not learning how to be barbers now. They're learning how to do.
They're learning how to do it all.
The whole thing.
The boards, there was a barber board and there was a cosmetology board for years. The epidemic of these unlicensed barbers has caused the state, the Department of Occupation and Professional Regulation, to merge the boards. So now there's one board that governs both barber, cosmetology, aesthetics, and a host of other things. So the general public needs to know that if a barber is not licensed, they should not patronize that barber. The problem that we're running into is graduating students. We're sending them out there to get jobs, and they're going to these shops, these mom and pop shops, that are telling them we don't have any chairs because these unlicensed barbers are in these seats.
Okay.
So that's a serious problem.
Okay. Hello, caller.
I have a question for Dalton King.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so proud of everything I'm hearing from both of you guys. But what does it take? I mean, do they just have to go fill out some paperwork and pay the fee to be a licensed barber, or do they have to pass some tests?
They absolutely have to pass some tests.
It's a class. I'm glad you asked that
Good
question.
question.
You want to stay on while we answer it, or you want us to do something?
I'll hang up, but keep up the good work, Ed. I'm really proud of you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay, bye.
Well, there are two ways that a person can become licensed. They can become licensed through Department of Labor and Industry, which is an apprenticeship program. That benefits a person that's already talented in dexterity. He already knows how to cut and style hair.
Like Emmanuel.
Like Emmanuel, he would have benefited that program. Then there's a program that starts from scratch, where a barber doesn't know anything about cutting hair. He's taught the theory and the practical. The apprenticeship program just teaches the theory. So we teach both, the practical and the theory, and under a year's time, a person can become licensed. Once they complete our program, they have to pass a state board exam. The state board exam is dealing with dexterity as well as theoretical. So you have a 2-hour test that shows, and this is where the boards have merged once again. Barbering, we don't even take a live model to the state board anymore. You take a mannequin, okay? You leave your clippers at home, okay? So this is telling you that the boards are leaning more towards cosmetology now because of the unratioed number of licensed barbers. It's wasting their time to have 2 different tests, 2 different boards, and so on. So the boards out here cutting hair without license are really detrimental to the profession moving forward versus it being such that they're not policed in their neighborhoods. There are too many of them. There are not enough inspectors.
Well, from where you're sitting as a career option, would you still consider this to be a career option?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, because as you said, they are cracking down on barbershops.
Yeah.
So they did a random, basically check on shops about 1 year, 2 years ago. So eventually they're going to just do checks where they come through unannounced.
And if you're not licensed, you're out.
The problem there is, once again, a lot of the general public doesn't know, as well as these barbershop owners. I've been in the legislative part of this for a long time. So I'm at the board of barbers and cosmetologists basically every quarter that they have it. And it's held like a court. So if you don't have a license, there's a $2,500 minimum fine, and there's a class misdemeanor that's associated with that.
Wow.
That's to the shop owner for each occurrence. These guys out here playing Russian roulette by just trying to pay their bills with unlicensed barbers. Now,
Let me ask you this, and I'm going to ask you the same question. Are you still going to school yourself? Is it a continuing learning process?
all the time, all the time. And it's in the nature of, in this profession, we have trade shows. So I'm an AMBIS representative as well as a distributor. So I go to these trade shows and I pick up the newest techniques, the newest tools, because with the advancement of electronics, you always have new
My daughter
products.
has gotten into the Brazilian hairstyle,
Okay.
and she went down for the Bonner Brothers show down in Atlanta.
Huge show.
And they've invited her to come back as a guest stylist.
That's
Okay,
wonderful.
the reason I was saying it, because now you're in school. And we know how the automobiles are changing and whatnot.
yeah.
I mean, I think all of us grew up with the shade tree mechanic. My dad was a mechanic, and he would hoist the motor out of the car on the tree limb, and they get out and work. But with these new cars now, you have to be a technician. There's no more being a mechanic, I don't think. Am I right?
There's very little room for just the wrench turner anymore. If you're going to do this today, you have to know what you're doing. Today's cars computerized, not just what operates the engine and transmission, but everything.
Yeah, the
From
whole system,
the
all of these,
lights,
and the backup
interiors,
cameras, and
everything is computerized. But I think with any business that you venture into, the first thing is to know your business.
Knowledge, business knowledge, right? Know
If
your
you
product.
don't know your business,
That's
you're
it.
just wandering in the dark. There's no chance of being successful.
And there's no reason for anybody to come back to you.
And now, well, just like what Dalton is saying, you go into the barber shop, and I didn't know that each individual barber has to have a license either. And even today, I don't really much care whether my barber has a license. I like the way he cut my hair.
Sure.
And I like the way I look when I see myself on camera. I say, hey man, my barber's it.
Yeah. And you notice how people love to say my barber, my doctor,
and my
my
mechanic.
lawyer, and my mechanic.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, one more, my insurance man.
and so that's where I'm saying now we go into the difference in business problems.
You got a hello caller? Hello? Lost him. If I lost you, please call back. We're working with the buttons here, okay? Apologize for that. We do want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, okay, like Dalton here, you have people that are qualified, but they can't seem to find employment because the market is flooded with everyone.
That's right.
By the same token, I have problems employing qualified personnel. But when I first started in business, I started out mobile. I put my name out there, and I went around and started fixing people's cars wherever they were broken down.
Yeah, I was just calling to find out what kind of business does Eric represent?
Automobile. Tell him.
Yeah, automotive service.
Okay, thank you, because I just walked in.
Okay. Thank you for calling. Tune in. Stay with us. You're going to hear some more.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
And I started out in business, putting my name out there and say, hey, I can fix a car, and people were calling me, and I was going everywhere. I mean, if you broke down in the tunnel,
That's right.
What you doing the things that man
I
needs to
did
do
what
to be
was
successful.
necessary to let people know that, hey, I'm a step above my competition.
Right.
Now, you have people that are qualified, but they can't seem to find a job. Is it mandated that they perform their services in a barbershop, or can they just put a shingle out in their front yard and say, hey, I got a license, I can cut hair, and once you establish your clientele, they're going to follow you. I started out doing mobile,
Right.
and now I have 2 auto service centers,
Right.
and
Tell us where they are. Promote yourself. Tell us where the shops are.
yeah, I have a Discount Auto Service, 342 Belt Boulevard, and Discount Auto Complete Car Care, 3150 Hull Street.
Okay. Say it again.
and-
They know. So they know.
342 East Belt Boulevard,
East Belt Boulevard.
3150 Hull Street.
And that's complete auto transmissions, front
We
end, rear
do
end,
it
the
all.
whole bit,
I
everything.
have an auto body technician.
You do auto body too,
I
huh?
have everything.
Man,
You're
you
one-stop
okay.
shop.
Okay, that's it. There you go.
And but like you say, and you said tonight we were speaking on people trying to become self-employed, because when you deal with the average person coming out of jails and institutions convicted of felonies, you are basically a social outcast.
Yeah, you're handicapped.
You're
That's
socially
it.
handicapped.
Definitely.
And so if you can't find a job, then it's high time to create one. If you don't have a marketable skill, think about some of the things that I spend my money on even when I don't have money. People go out and spend money. The economy is in a horrible state, but people are still going out buying food because we're too lazy to cook. People are still going to get their hair cut because they want to look good.
Oh,
They
yeah.
think that their image, think that their image portrays who they are.
Based and had a whole thing on how they did a survey, and they showed that all of the businesses were showing a drop except
The food business.
and hair.
People are taking care of those. They're taking care of their image. They're taking care of their stomach, and we're taking care of the automobile so I can hurry up and go somewhere.
Yeah.
So think of the things that I don't think that you have to really be a genius to make money. I look at people that come up with certain blogs and various other forms of advertisement across the internet because they just sit down and they thought, what is it that everybody thinks they need and will pay to have? And come up with something that's marketable and put it out there.
Good evening, caller.
I'd just like to say I am really impressed
Eric, see that?
I mean, Doc, you just, I had a cousin of mine. He did 7 years in the penitentiary, and now he's a great salesman. I think we can't throw people away. People got talent. And bro, you just got tears running out my eyes, man.
That's nice.
I just want to. You were Steve Jobs.
Basically.
God bless you, bro. I got tears. I ain't cried in a long time, but you making me cry.
That's a nice call. Thank you for that. I appreciate you watching also.
Yeah.
Nice.
And when I know you had said we were speaking about business and enterprising, entrepreneurship, but being that my background did come into conversation, I look around at the degradation of society, and everyone walks around as if I can't do any better. We become comfortable with having nothing or just eking out a mere existence. And I did that my whole adult life. I was a victim, if you will, of alcoholism and drug addiction since I was around 14 years old.
That's the pattern. Yeah.
And if anyone would ever said that, hey, Eric Ruffin would be somebody and be successful,
I said it.
Well, you did, and I did, but I think I was more saying it in a dream or hoping.
No, I watched you, and I saw that.
And maybe you saw things that I didn't.
And I saw the energy and the dedication, and that's what's missing. The young people now, they don't realize that you have to put something in to get something out.
Well, life is just like going to the carnival. There are no free rides.
Yes, 100% right there.
My businesses are successful, and oftentimes my wife used to ask me, what in the world am I doing getting up, going into the shop at 4 o'clock in the morning for? Well, there's work to be done. I'm trying to build something. I'm trying to establish something. Once the work is done and it's built up, now it requires, if I don't find qualified technicians, I'll just keep on keeping on doing what I'm doing because it seems to be working for me.
Well, give a phone number where somebody, because I know this, I know somebody looking at us right now either is or knows a good mechanic that needs a job.
Well,
okay, and if you're a veteran, especially, or if you're, as we say, a returning citizen, if you're just getting out, as Eric has said, if you have a background, all of us have a background. Everybody's got something in their background. Sure. The idea is to overcome that and become what you can be. And you can be just about whoever you want to be if you're willing to do what it takes to be it. And that's it. Okay.
And if you want to work, if you know the field in automotive technology, I don't care if you got a criminal record. I don't care. None of that matters to me because I've got one too. But you can call me 249-0049 or 514-0399.
Let's give them again.
804-249-0049 or 514-0399.
Okay. And for the rest, if anybody out there is watching and you need employees, don't forget about the new ruling now that President Obama has put out where veterans, if you hire a veteran, you get a $9,400 a year tax credit for hiring that veteran. If you hire a returning citizen, right now I think in Virginia is $2,400 tax credit, and that's getting ready to get bigger. Good evening, caller.
Yes, Ed.
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
I have a question for Dalton.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Dalton, my question to you is, in the city, how many barbers are actually licensed? I understand that you run a school for barbers.
Correct. Well, the particular number in the city I'm not familiar with, but in the state, there are about 3,000 barbers licensed, and that encompasses the whole state. As my co-part here said, he has a barber, he likes this barber, as we probably do. A lot of us have barbers that we like. But in the realm that this barber would be liable for any type of damages, without a license, he would not do. So patronizing these these unlicensed barbers is doing an illegal act. It sets you up for being subpoenaed to court. So that if you were actually getting your hair serviced by a barber that's not licensed, and this is something that the general public does not know. If you're actually getting your hair cut by a barber that's not licensed, a barber, matter of fact, I brought some props. How about that?
Okay, let's see.
Brought some props. If you do not see a license from the Department of Occupation and Professional Regulation, and if you can see, it says display in the plain view of the general public. Your barber is proud to have this. So if he has a license, he's going to display it, okay? If you are in this chair getting service and an inspector comes in the door, the inspector is going to give him a fine, he's going to give him a misdemeanor, and he's going to subpoena you as a customer to come to court.
And this is what's getting ready to come down the road
what's
now
getting ready to
because the crackdown is coming. Did that answer your question, caller? Hello, caller?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did answer my question, but I have one more question for Dalton.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How much does it affect your business as a licensed barber when everybody is out here just cutting hair?
Well, it's a heavy effect on the profession of barbering. Let's say relative to dentistry or doctoring or being a lawyer. A lawyer would not practice law without a license. A doctor would not practice medicine without a license.
Yeah.
You would not patronize this doctor. Now, what you have to realize is barbering started, and that pole represents barber surgeon. And most of your barbers will tell you that's been to school. The barbers that haven't do not know this. So we're dealing with a lot of medical issues as well. We're dealing with chemistry, we're dealing with anatomy, physiology, we're dealing with bacteriology as well. So the decontamination that a barber does not know can hurt you in the long run as well. So these things that we don't know can hurt us. So we need to be out there patronizing the businesses, doing the right thing. It's hurting us because why would a person spend money to go to school, spend time to train, get a license, and cut hair when they don't have to, okay? And this is what's happening. Barbers today are taking a shortcut. They're not going to school.
But this is traditional. I mean, this is the way it's always been. I think, other than in ancient times, when being a tonsillar was almost being a surgeon.
Yeah, it is.
Because they're the ones that did the
surgeon.
bleeding, they did with the leeches and the whole bit. But I understand where you're coming from with your question.
The last,
Go ahead, Go ahead, I'm listening.
yeah, the last question I have, I'm Ed, and this is Sensei Folks.
I picked up on your voice. Us. You know who that is, right?
And basically what I'm trying to find out is if I catch some kind of disease or anything in my head with an unlicensed barber, how can I deal with that?
You can't. You cannot.
Simple enough, you can't.
Yeah, you're in trouble. So I just would implore everyone who is getting their hair service. Yeah, these might be your friends. You might have built a rapport with them. But understand also that they're not going to be liable if they are not disinfecting their tools and implements properly. And if they haven't been in school and if they don't have that particular license, that they don't know the sanitation procedures to do this. You're dealing with, this is a very communicable business. You're dealing with person after person. And we are passing things along in these barbershops. Once again, we're talking about business. And our businesses as a small business owner, we need to raise the level of professionalism. And in order to do that, we have to hold our people that's giving service accountable.
We can relate that to this gentleman on the telephone because at Sensei Fox, he was the guard that was working with you in the system. I don't want you to go yet. Hello, Sensei? He left.
Okay.
I wanted to tell you about
I'm here.
Yeah, I was going to say, mention your school because we're still, last week I got a lot of calls from you guys coming on and talking about the bullying project. And give us the name of the school again. The Henrico Dojo?
Henrico Daiichi. Yes.
And what's the phone number over there?
His phone number is 562-0733.
Okay, you heard that number out there. That's folks that called me up last week wanting to know more information on how to get into it's a karate school, but we're emphasizing the bullying and training, okay? And we have a program there that's working. In fact, it's starting to spread out even more now. But it's the same thing, licenses. Now, how are you going to go into a dojo if the person is not qualified?
Not qualified,
right?
not licensed.
And again, it's a 5th degree black belt.
He might know what he's doing. You might like him, build a rapport with him.
That's it.
But is he supposed to be in the service?
Sensei, we look to have you back on again. I won't be back on myself until January when they set the new schedule. But I would like you to come back on when I set that up, and we'll talk about that, all right? Sensei?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Good man right there. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, good
yeah.
man there.
I might have to look into this licensed barbering thing if he can make my beard look like yours do on TV.
Well, you know something? It might, because they learn so much. They learn this so many. Again, with my daughter, does mine and whatnot. But hello, caller. Can you hear me? Hello. Are you gonna whistle or talk?
I think they had feedback.
Feedback problem. Okay. All right, call back if that call didn't go through. We do want to hear what you have to say.
It's just not fair to those people that's out there doing the right thing. You know,
I
it's not
understand
fair
that.
to them.
Hello, caller.
Yeah.
Okay, we got you now. How you doing?
All right. I have a question for Dalton.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm blessed.
Let's hear the question.
Dalton, how can we be hooked up in your school, man?
Well, we can come to 1152 Wilkerson Road. That's in the Chamberlain Farm Shopping Center, near your Perham Road intersection of Brook and Perham. Our telephone number is 804-264-0800. The application process is painless, easy, pretty simple. You come in and we assess where you are, if you have any cutting experience, and we'll go from there. Usually the program takes about 12 months, a little under a year, depending on your prior cutting experience.
Did that answer it for you? I want you to give the phone number again, though.
Okay, 804-264-0800.
Did you hear that, caller?
Yes, sir.
Did that answer the question, or you have more?
No, that's it.
Okay, you're interested. Good deal. Thank you.
And you know, I'll tell you, I have been in the auto business for probably 32 years. Mm-hmm. And until I actually started going back to school, I thought I knew
Thought you
everything.
knew.
Yeah,
I thought I knew it,
That's right.
Good evening, caller.
Fellas, how you doing? My name is Mr. Boatwright.
Hey, Mr. Boatwright, how are you?
I'm doing fine, This comment is for Eric. I know I used to be locked in with you in the jail, and we shared this vision about working on cars.
Yep.
We were sitting on the tier. Mm-hmm. Do you remember me?
Yep, I do.
Who is it again? Say your name.
Boatwright.
Oh, this is Boatwright. How you doing?
Mr. Boatwright.
Hey, yes, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Okay.
I'm doing fine. I keep doing G3 in the Richmond City Jail, and I got out and I did what I said I was gonna do too, man.
Good
and
deal.
I wonder where you were because I was working on cars out here as well, and I was looking for you because I knew you was good at what you did.
Okay.
So I want you to, I just want to say, man, congratulations. I'm very proud of you and keep up the good work, man.
That's nice.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
nice. What are you doing now?
Well, actually, I'm running recovery houses here in the city of Richmond for males that's coming out of Richmond City Jail, and I'm networking with construction guys that run construction business out here, and I'm trying to get them job placements, and we still teaching recovery as well. We just opened up a female facility as well.
Outstanding. Congratulations on that. Give me a call sometime, too. All right? You have my number?
Sure. I think my friend Brent Reed got your number.
Yeah.
From you.
Yeah, get it. If not, it's 687-2064. And congratulations on what you're doing, too. That is wonderful. Okay? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, and I have a reputation for knowing the cars in and out. But there was a certain pride when I come out of school.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's like, man, this is something that every man should do in this field. You know? And and I can appreciate that. With there being so many barbers, sort of like undercutting the competition. But if you take pride in what you do, and if you are adamant about it, I mean, I truly believe that what life has for you is gonna be yours, and ain't nothing gonna stop it. I mean, when I look at where I am today, and I mean, I did this walking out of jail, and and I don't really go about bragging about it, but I probably have one of the lengthiest criminal records of any man in America. I had come out when you met me. I was serving my 5th prison sentence.
Well, I think a lot of times what we miss is we're trying to make life fit us instead of doing with life fitting life. Basically, you can't say, all right, I'm going to be in business, but I'm not going to do it the right way. I'm going to do it my way.
It doesn't work.
You can't do it like that.
It won't succeed anyway.
It will not.
It may start off good, but it's short-lived.
Oh, it will come up, catch you. Yeah, it will come up to catch you.
And I mean, there's other things that I guess I could do in life or try to be in life, but I find that I'm less prone to have accidents if I stay in my lane.
There you go.
There you
There
go. That's
I just
it.
stay in my lane and do what I do.
And if you can do what it is that you love to do and make a living from it, I mean, that's the blessing right there. And I mean, listening to you talking about your shops and looking at your face, I mean, you're very proud of what you've accomplished and whatnot. That's a nice thing. I mean, I love my job.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We just came back from the Bahamas next week for the viewing order. We're getting ready to run out of time. So I do want to say a couple of things about what's getting ready to start happening here. I want you to give your address for your shop again.
Okay. 1152 Wilkerson Road, Chamberlain Farm Shopping Center, 264-0800.
And you're listed under Virginia School of Barbering.
Virginia Barber School.
Virginia Barber School. So all of you that might be interested in that type of career, that's your information, that's your hookup. Let's do your body shop.
Discount Auto Service, 342 East Belt Boulevard and 3150 Hull Street, 249-0049.
Okay, advice for the young folks that might be watching as far as going into business, because this is what we were talking about outside.
Well, rule number one is do a business that you can perform yourself. That way you're not handicapped by any of your employees. Number two, get your license and do it the right way so you can look for longevity in it.
I would just simply say, don't be afraid to fail. I've fallen a lot of times, but sooner or later, if you're persistent, if you do what you do and you do it well, you'll succeed.
We fall down, but we get up. I want you to start taking advantage of some of the assets that are out here that are being overlooked. And the main one that I found out in the past week, Minority Business Development. It's a state agency. It's right here in the city building in Richmond. It's called Minority Business Development. They will give you classes on making your business plan. They will give you classes on how to put in for grants. They will give you classes on how to just learn how to turn the key to open the door to your business, but you have to want to do it. It's free, okay? So write that down, Minority Business Development. If you're thinking about going into the business, if you have any kind of idea, that's the first thing you need to do. Let me grab this call. Hello, caller, we're on the downswing here, so let's.
Yeah. How you doing here? Look, it's good to see you and my friend here in Ruffin. It's good to see you here. I've been looking for you. I haven't seen you in a while. I don't know whether you can recognize the boy's name, but we spent a lot of nights talking, man. How you be?
I'm good.
Who is it?
It's Sam, man.
What's going on, man?
Hey, look, I got the number. The reason I called, I know you pressed for time. It's the number 249-0049.
Yeah, 249-0049.
I had been looking out for you and Vernon, man.
I don't know, man. By God's grace and mercy, I get to see you. And you said something, and I was thinking about what you said about the young kids. And a lot of them don't have God. They're looking for God and don't even know it, man. We can't do anything if He's not leading and guiding us. And I find that when I was in the belief field, so many of us, when we are in a confined environment, it's easy to go along with the program, man. But when we don't discipline ourselves, somebody else can discipline us.
That's right.
Like so it's easy. See, the wolf is always in the bushes.
Oh,
man.
yeah, absolutely.
I have to be aware, and I have to stay around those people that's walking that path that I am walking.
Well, that's good. That's good.
I tell you, man, look, it's good to see y'all, but here's I will be talking to you. I'll be in touch with you, okay?
Sounds good. Good hearing from you too, Sam. Take care of yourself. All right.
Okay, you too.
Yeah, see, that's good stuff, man. See, and you don't realize the impact that you have. Like this past week, Clovia 107.5 reran the election day program that we did a year ago in the jail to get the guys that could register to vote. Got so many phone calls, people hearing it for the first time. And I mean, one lady called my wife to tell her she was crying, listening to us on the telephone. You don't realize how much of an impact you have on other people until it comes back and then you realize it and it hits you. And you got to start being careful what you say because people are listening to you. Hello, caller. You're probably our last caller for the night. Got a little problem there, can't hear you. Try again, okay? Call back.
They're too close to the television.
Okay, just for general knowledge, Tropical Beat TV will be coming back full-blown within the next 2 months. You guys loved us for 20 years. We had to take a little break. We're coming back. One of the things we are going to be promoting very heavily is our 10th year wedding anniversary celebration in Grand Bahama. The first week in August this year, all of y'all are invited to come.
All right.
Richmond has a new airline in here, Vision Air. We can fly to the Bahamas for $99. And you get on the plane at 9 o'clock in the morning, you're on the beach at 12.
Oh, yeah.
Staying at our Lucaya Hotel. So that's not a promotion, but it's a promotion. That's one of the things that's coming up. I'll be back on with Conversations with Ed on starting in January. As you can see from what you have been seeing, we have a new production crew here at Comcast. I'd like to congratulate these gentlemen for their professionalism and what they're doing with our TV station. This is our TV station, and they're making it into a real TV station. So thank you guys very, very much. Keep up the good work. And we look forward to coming back. Stay tuned. You'll get some news on when we'll be back up. We're going to take you out once again with my buddy Bobby Boyd and his theme music. And I hope you guys have a great, great Thanksgiving. Give thanks as well as eating and food and all that. But take a minute to think about what the day really is about. Give thanks. And everybody sitting up here and everybody that's looking at us out there has something that they need to give thanks for. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you letting me into your living room with these fine guests I have up here. You guys keep up the good work. Dalton, we're going to be talking. I'm going to see what we can work out again with the Sheriff's Department because I said with all these new programs that they're coming out with, there should be some funding coming up, okay? Bring my car with you. Yeah. Okay? I just took out, anybody needs that warranty while we're off the air, but I got that new warranty, that nationwide.
Oh, well, I service for them.
I got it.
Well,
I got it.
Got a problem, you bring it in.
Yeah, I got it. That's right.
Take care.
Have you had the opportunity to do that?
Oh, yeah.